Yeah, hello and welcome back to ConWorxx Day 2. And I'm having two wonderful guests here. I'm having Peter Wichmann, the designer of Schrille Stille, and Albrecht Werstein, a true industry legend. He is the former owner of Zoch Verlag. So really, it is my pleasure. And Albrecht is not even in Germany, he's in Portugal. But he said, well, ConWorxx is that important, I have to be here at that time. Yeah, maybe not, maybe that's not the reason, but I'm really glad having Peter and Albrecht as my guests. So, Peter, how are you?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm very fine. In these days, it's very important, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Albrecht, how is life in Portugal right now?
Yeah, it's quite good. They have the best campaign with vaccination about COVID-19, and it's a safe feeling. But only bad news is that I return tomorrow to Germany.
Yeah, you can't have everything. So retirement is hard. So it's tough. But today we are talking for the next 30 minutes about Schrille Stille. Schrille Stille is a game that was released by Zoch Verlag in 1999, so more than 20 years ago. And we are planning together a new edition of this game. And maybe Albrecht, to start, can you give us a very brief history of the first edition of Schrille Stille? Why did you work together with Peter bringing out this game? What attracted you to this game?
Yes, I was very fascinated about the mechanism and this what we realized later in a CD player. And Peter had some marvelous constructions he did, and this technical solution was exciting. And the other exciting thing was I like music, and to create together with Peter the bands was a very nice job. And in the first edition, it was a German one. We had more local patriot music inside, and now we had the same job to make it more international. And I hope you will like this. We had the same joy as 22 years ago in making and finding the names for the bands and so on. That's it. Oh.
And let me briefly say hello, Andre. Good seeing you, and hello, Sebastian. So, yeah, it is really a joy working together with Peter and Albrecht because their insight, their knowledge is huge, and there aren't that many games on the music industry on the market. Even 22 years later, and this is another thing which I think is important to have something that is a little bit apart from the trodden ways. But of course, Schrille Stille second edition is not the same game as Schrille Stille in 99. So Peter revisited his game. And Peter, what are the major changes in this new edition?
Oh yes. For those who don't know the original version of 1999, there I am a manager, and I manage all bands of a certain color, of my color. Uh, and that's the point. New is I'm not only a manager, but I'm still, and now I am a additional concert agent. As such, I can earn victory points even with the bands of the other players. So this increases the interaction and the number of action criteria. I think this is the main point.
Yeah.
There are lots of small changes. We have now other band cards. We have less bands. We have not so much places in the chart. Yeah, these are smaller changes, but I think the concert agent is the most important change.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And some of the early concerns of the first edition were that it's a little bit too random, maybe this game. And this randomness factor certainly has been reduced. And this, in my opinion, makes the game a lot better too. And Albrecht, the original game was for up to 6 players, if I'm not mistaken. Is this true?
Yes, I was very proud that I could realize it for 6 players, but it was a mistake because it becomes more and more randomly, and it rested too long, and you had too less decisions for this, and so they went as they showed to play it with 6 players, and this wasn't the best. With 5 and 4, it's perfect.
Yeah.
And 3 is.
Yeah. So the new edition is for up to 5 players, and I think this is also very good. And there's Nick Case, designer Nick Case, who was here earlier, and he's commenting. I'm a complete sucker for wooden games anyway, but Taurus is a masterpiece. Peter, do you have any plans for another quality wooden game? So, so good question here.
Oh, there is one who knows Taurus. Oh, fine, very fine. Yes, I like to work with wood, but the next, I hope, one of the next games will exist of wood, of wooden polyominus.
Okay. So no plans to revisit Taurus, but something else with
Something else, yeah.
with wood,
No,
yeah. And
no other with Taurus.
but you see, there is love for Taurus all over the world. The first edition, if I'm not mistaken, Peter, was just released in German language, right? Is this correct?
I didn't understand.
The first edition by Zoch from 1999 was just a German edition, correct?
Yes, it's correct. It was just a German
Yeah.
edition.
And this new edition will be a dual language edition, at least. Maybe we can add up more partners, but it will be German and English at the minimum, let's say it. And Albrecht and Peter, one thing you can't see right now, but I want to show something here to our viewers. This lovely band card from the game. So it's a red pack, and maybe you viewers recognize these people, or 2 of them. So you see Peter and Albrecht, and also the wonderful Kalle Schmiel and the wonderful Klaus Zoch here. So they are the red pack in the game. So they are a band, and I think this is a wonderful illustration. And what is pack, by the way, Albrecht? What is this construction in southern Germany, in Munich? What is pack?
Yes, a pack can be retired as well, and we found the initials of our names, Peter, Albrecht, Klaus, and Kalle, and this gives the name pack. And we remembered the red pack, and we thought we are in as from the gamer side, in a similar situation as they was, and they had to do with music as well.
Yeah.
So for the younger one, this was Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr. and Dean Martin, and the 4th guy I never know, but they drank all this alcohol with him.
So which is also somewhat nice. But what I find for me, what is very interesting is that, especially in non-pandemic times, that you are getting together to test games, to play games, and to test games on a regular basis. And there is, you can only imagine if these 4 people with that much experience are in one room at one table. There is so much knowledge. It's a wonderful synergy. So this is a great thing, and you see it. It will be a band card in the game. And to show you just quickly a couple of more bands, this is of the red music label. So you see these here, and this is almost final. Yeah. Okay, so these are some more bands here in the game. And Peter, getting back to the central mechanism of the game, this CD player, it will be basically, of course, a retro edition. These days, in 2021 or 22, next year, almost nobody uses a CD player anymore. Everybody is streaming music all the time. So it will be a look back at that time. But how did you invent this wooden CD player, Peter? What were the idea for this?
Yes, the first solution was completely different, and it grows with the time. A very important proposal came from, I think it was Walter of the Softverlag, and this proposal we followed and made CD player, a wooden CD player, as the middle of the game. So in the time of the 90s, the CD player was the common thing. So we thought it was a good idea.
Yeah, but it is not only that you are having this massive wooden CD player, which is great for table presence. So people looking at this, so that's a wonderful thing. But it's also mechanically very important. Albrecht, what are players doing with this CD player? What are they doing? Why is this game? Why is it included in this game?
Yes, you. At first, I want to say about the wooden CD player. This was an anachronism because there was the technique, the digital of the CD player, and we made it in wood. And we made a lot of holes in the wood, and they are in these places you can place some voting stones for your bands and for the bands of your opponents. So you can put in minus and plus stones, and so you have a black box in the CD player. Every of the players place their label on the top of the CD player, and the voting stones fell into the CD player, and then you can see from place 12 to place 1 who voted for which band, but you do not know who give me the minus for my lovely band.
Yeah, it's in my opinion, it's a wonderful mechanism because you do this simultaneously, so there is no downtime or not too much downtime in voting, and then the suspense. What comes out now for my band, for the other bands? Will it go up in the charts, maybe from place 12 to 10, or will it fall off the charts and be out? And this is really a wonderful mechanism, and it's not really totally random. What is happening. So it's based on the decisions of the players. So really congratulations, Peter, for this mechanic, and then for the first edition to Zochverlag for making this happen, because it's not easy to manufacture this at all. It's quite a difficult job in a board game, but as I said earlier, it's also very good for table presence in my opinion. Yeah. Peter, you mentioned the concert agents or the new role of concert agents. Can you expand on this a little bit? So, or getting one step back, what are you doing as a player? What do you represent in the game?
Yes, I'm at the first side manager, and I manage my bands. I can choose the color when the cards appear in the charts. So they appear in the reverse order, beginning with place 12, coming up to place 1. And to specific time, it's my wish, I can say, I want to manage the yellow band. So I'm the manager of the yellow band. As a concert agent, I can, as Albrecht mentioned, I can put in special stones in the CD player. For example, on a red band, when I think the red band will come up to place 1 or to place 2 or so, and then I will participate on the success of this red band.
So it's basically a dual role that you are having in the new edition. So one is the manager, still you're managing bands, but you are also an agent, and there you can have lots of success with other players' bands.
Yes.
Yes, I think this is really important to stress because, as you said earlier, this is the major change from the first edition, and I think it improves the game a lot. The first edition was already a good game, in my opinion, a little bit underrated because quite a few people thought it's a little bit too random, so that randomness factor has been removed. And second, now it's more. I think gamers, so the true hobby gamers, will like it better than the first edition. But mechanically, Albrecht, where do you see the game? Is it complexity-wise? Is it a family-type game? Is it more a Kennerspiel, as we say in Germany? Where would you put the game?
Because the theme is familiar and at least it's a family game, a little advanced family game.
Yeah.
And the thing is, from the random aspect, in the former times we had a lot of bands who was represented by 2 colors, and so only 2 different players could use this band, and this was random. Now you have the free decision which bands you want to support with as an agent. And this is the main thing which makes it absolutely more tactical now.
Yeah.
And really nice as it works now.
Yeah, I agree, and this is a good point that you are mentioning. Going back from these dual colors to just one color, I think is also an a major improvement in the game. Yes, good point. And let me briefly show you the draft cover here, if I have it. Oh, there it is. So you see it right now. So this will be Schrille Stille, and we will keep the German name here also in the international edition. And you see this is the draft cover we are having, and we are quite proud of it. I think at least in my opinion, or in our opinion, it looks really nice. So it will be in Spielworxx square box because there's a lot in it, and especially the CD player is massive. So there's already, this is not an air box or an empty box. And when will the game be out? What is our plan? So what are we planning with the game, Peter?
But the game out?
Yeah, well, when will we release the game? When should people be able to play it?
I hope as early as possible, but I think it will be at the end of 2022.
Yeah, so this is our current plan, and things have been gone a little bit more slowly than we all like, but this is a reality of the pandemic. But we have almost completed artwork on this game, and so we are ready, hopefully, to crowdfund it sometimes next year, and then also to release it next year. And as I said, it's not easy to manufacture this CD player, and it has to be very precise because all the players are putting discs in there, cubes in there, and everything has to fall out at a certain point. So this has to be very precise, and nobody can right now, or does not know right now, what the international shipping means and all these things. So yeah, this is our plan. So Albrecht, how is it having a game that is from '99 and coming, and that you loved and that you published via your company? How is it for you to see it again or now almost see it again on the market? Is it something that feels strange, or that you have a lot of pride? So what are your emotions here?
Yes, at least it makes me happy, because I love the game very much, and at the end of the last millennium, it was a little underestimated, and we had a lot of press which wrote down later, "Oh, this game is much better as we wrote about it." And so with this only German version, we had not so many chances, because it was also absolutely only to sell in Germany. And we are hoping that now Schrille Stille will have the success what the game has earned.
Yeah, and I think both of you, Peter and Albrecht, you deserve this. And I think also it is a good chance for people overseas in the US or in Oceania to appreciate it, because it's really unique. It's a game on the music industry, and there aren't that many. It has a unique component in there with a unique mechanism. So hopefully you'll take a close look at it next year when we will crowdfund the game. Yeah, and from me, I can only say thank you so much for viewing, and Peter and Albrecht, thank you for being my guests, and especially for you, Albrecht, being in Portugal. So have a safe trip home tomorrow to Munich, and we stay in touch anyway. And here at at ConWorxx, we will continue at 11:45 with Christoph Ungemach. He will talk about fairness in games. What a strange concept, fairness in games. Who wants to have a fair game? But we will talk about this in 20 minutes, 11:45 CET. Because of my stupidity here, you have to reconnect at this time. Pausing doesn't seem to work, so please be back at 11:45. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.